Hi, this is Debbie, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about creating order out of the chaos that is our personal information in our very digital era. We've all learned by now how important it is to keep our homes tidy and organized, and we've all read and seen tips on how to do so. I'm sure you all heard of and seen on TV the Home Edit show, Marie Kondo's show, read their books, many other home organizers out there, and we see their reels and tips on Instagram, on Pinterest, on TikTok, and a lot of us hire the services of such home organizers because having a tidy home has a lot of advantages to our lives. It really is important. Most of us also aspire to manage ourselves and our time better, and we all constantly looking for tips and tricks and apps to help us to do so. We also read books and attend courses and seminars about this subject called time management. And by the way, these days, this field is called self-management because time cannot be really managed. It's a given, but we can manage ourselves within the time that we have. These days, more and more people are realizing there's another area in our lives which has become very messy and overwhelming, and therefore needs order, systems, and organization to make it less messy and overwhelming. In other words, it needs to be managed. I'm talking about our own personal data, our own personal information. If we stop to think about the types and amount of important personal information in our lives, it can really be overwhelming. Our finances, data that's in our bank accounts, our credit cards, insurance policies, investments, savings, our health. And when I say our, I mean also our family, and not just our own personal, of course, test results, medical summaries, expenses, information about our employment, salary slips, contracts, recommendation letters, resumes, or our business if we are self-employed or we run a business. There's lots and lots of information there. Household bills, subscriptions, purchases, passwords to various apps and programs and sites. Our kids, their education, reports, grades, assignments, extramurals, hobbies, our education. A lot of us carry on studying well after high school. Photos and videos. Oh my God. So many photos that we take and videos that we take and we get every single day. Important documents, wills, passports, birth certificates, death certificates, documents pertaining to our ancestors that could be important for various procedures that we want to do in life. Details about our contacts, business contacts, friends, family. Besides their name and phone number, we want their email address, a physical address, birthdays, professions, and also ideas that come to our heads, and we want to be able to, dump them out of our head and write them down. Tasks that we want to do or that we need to do, and we also want to write them down somewhere so that we can actually, in a way also that will be easy for us to actually get things done. Projects, for example, could be an event that we need to organize. Memorabilia can be all sorts of nostalgic things about trips and holidays and events. Appointments, things that we have to do at a certain time, medical appointments, work-related appointments, anything that we need to actually note down and do at a certain time. It's also information that helps us to run our lives and also going forward, and also to see going back what we've actually done. A lot of it is important that we are managing all the time, even if we're not realizing it. Up until a few years ago, most of this information was in hard copy and organized, if at all organized, in ring folders, in hanging folders, and in hanging folders in filing cabinets, if you remember those, in file faxes. I remember those, in notebooks. With the advance of technology, and especially laptops and tablets and mostly smartphones, of course, much of the data contained in those papers has morphed into bytes. Ostensibly, the mess of files and folders and papers all but disappeared. A lot of precious cabinet space was cleared. It's wonderful, isn't it? This short video illustrates this wonderfulness best. By the way, I don't know if you can see what icon or icons actually are missing here. Well, there's no WhatsApp and no Google Drive. 2016 there was WhatsApp, but maybe it wasn't as strong as it is these days. Or maybe the creators of this video don't use it. I don't know. It's not used in every country. Anyway, this video is fascinating, and it really illustrates how we are actually living in a paperless world just about these days. So it is wonderful, but also not so wonderful. Why? Let me explain. There's a new situation out there now, and it's that vast amounts of information, or all the vast amounts of information in our lives, is not actually gone. It's just not physically noticeable. It now resides inside our gadgets. Therefore, it's easier to ignore. It's easier not to attend to it, to just leave it as and where it came in from. As a result, inside our gadgets, the information is actually messier than ever. Let's take a deep dive into our information that is in byte format these days, and all the places in which it lives in a scattered and disorganized manner. First of all, our email, our smartphones, in various apps, as computer files, on the cloud, or even in a few different clouds, without much logic, without a system. Oh, and let's not forget hard copy. Yes, paper hasn't disappeared yet. And also external drives. Yes, these are still around and sometimes very useful and for information organization actually. And think too of all the information that is not kept, that gets discarded or lost either by mistake or because we think we will remember it, so we don't keep it or we delete it. We don't remember, by the way, mostly, or because we don't use the apps properly, which leads to data loss without us even realizing it's happening. And often this loss carries a high cost, both sentimental and financial. I want to try and paint a picture for you of what information chaos really looks like. I'll use a reference that we're all familiar with and also which resonates with the homogenization that I started this video with. Imagine that every time you went shopping, you came home and just dumped your purchases wherever it was convenient and easy, namely in the hallway, in the kitchen, in the lounge, and just left them there, instead of placing each item where it belongs, on the correct shelf in the pantry, in the right drawer in the freezer, in the basket in the bathroom, or in the right shelf in the wardrobe. This practice is not viable, is it? Maybe for one day, but not more. We can't live like that. What we do with our important information in the digital age is the equivalent of leaving our shopping where it's easy, leaving it to live where it came in from. Pictures, photos, videos, we leave in the gallery of the phone or in the WhatsApp. Emails, we just leave them to fill our inboxes and we don't delete them or archive or label or save them where they actually belong. Files are just left in the downloads folder in the computer, or at best kept in the documents folder on the computer, etc. Do you realize that this practice is not viable either? Just like with the shopping. So this new situation has created a new challenge. In the last couple of years, I've been noticing more and more posts in which people are asking for advice on how to organize their messy mountains of important information that is almost all digital. People of all ages, by the way, not just older people. I would say 25 upwards. They really don't know how to organize all this. Let's look at some examples of recent posts that illustrate this. Let's look at the one on the right. I had 50,000 photos. Due to lack of space, I deleted them. And now I only have 5,000 left. In addition, I deleted irrelevant apps and WhatsApp chats, and I'm still on the same status of no storage on my phone. Please help me. Another one. So after a very long time in which I wasted time to find an effective method that would keep me, messy person that I am, from forgetting things and missing things, after trying countless digital tools until I got lost and messed my life even more, I decided that the root of the problem should be taken care of, should be addressed. I need to learn how to become an organized person. I need your help to understand what I'm looking for. Courses, are there any out there, YouTube, or what to look for there? I actually answered this one, and I wrote that she wrote here at the end, how does everyone manage to maintain basic order except for me? So first of all, most people don't. So it's not just her. And there's other examples also relating to thoughts and ideas and summaries of interesting things, etc. People have come to be aware of the fact that just because it's not physically visible, it doesn't mean that the situation can be ignored any longer. This awareness rose as people have started experiencing the difficulty in finding information that they need because of the sheer quantity of files and lack of logical organization, and because of information being scattered in so many different places without any order. The time that they waste looking for the information, the frustration that it causes, the storage space that it's taking up in our gadgets. And often files are in duplicates or even more, so it's taking up even more space, and space is not free. It costs money. The cloud on the gadget itself, on the phone itself, on the tablet. And all these gadgets start working poorly once they're so full, as we saw in the example before that I read. And there's also panic about losing data, losing important information, data and information forever, which is very understandable. I also would panic about that. And also, more and more people are fearing they don't want to leave a mess for their inheritors to deal with. First of all, it can be embarrassing, and it's also quite a selfish thing. And people, don't want to be like selfish with their kids or grandkids and leave them all the mess in their computers and their phones to deal with. And a lot of this scattered information and disorganization actually causes a lot of noise in the brain. And most of us want quiet. We want to be able to quieten our brain so we can be more effective and more productive. The good news is that the situation is not a given. There are ways and methods and systems to manage all this information. All these ways are part of this new field called Personal Information Management, PIM or PIM for short. Let's look at the Wikipedia definition of PIM. So PIM is the study of the activities people perform in order to acquire or create, store, organize, maintain, retrieve, and use information items. And it carries on a little bit, but what's important here is that, first of all, what I'd like to point out, and it's also written very clearly in Wikipedia, is that PIM is really a field of academic study. But these days, slowly, and I'm saying this, it's becoming a field of actually doing. It's actually needs not just to be research, but it needs to actually get into our lives. And another thing is, note that it's not just organization, okay? People associate like with a home organization or time management, that we're talking about just organize. it's not just that. It actually starts with how we acquire, how we create, and how we actually use it at the end or retrieve it at the end. So it's a whole process. And that's why it's actually personal information management and not personal information order or organization. These days, I'm helping people to create order in this chaotic new challenge. For me, it's a natural evolution of my business as a personal financial consultant and money coach, because I cannot start a proper consultation without organizing my clients' financial information in a logical way. So I do it there, and I do it in my life, and I'm helping people to do this in things that are not financial these days. And it's basically the same logic. So now that I've most probably made you all think about what your personal situation is relating to all these things, let me give you some practical PIM tips that you can actually implement in your life.